Hello. So, GCSE season is upon us, and although it doesn't affect me directly, not for a couple of years anyway, it got me thinking about GCSE physics in particular. Now, I'm not going to lie, I found it quite dull, physics. I think possibly because my mind isn't technical or analytical or kind of data driven. I would often find my mind wandering into kind of more artsy, poetic territory, and therefore found it quite difficult to concentrate. But of late, I've been reflecting how, well, everything is energy, really, isn't it? Even the body, matter, it's just energy in motion all the time. And as human beings, we are limited to perception through our senses. So the breadth of perception comes through these kind of portals, really. And I was sort of thinking about how my preoccupation with words would often mean I would be thinking about what people say, because that's of interest, of course, but how actually there's a greater depth when we get behind the like what we're saying, and we just feel into like, how does it feel to be with somebody? What does that feel like and that feels quite energetic. I know there's lots already discussed about people's vibrations and things, but seriously, when you sit with someone, of course the words matter, but there's like a capacity to attune and discern a bit more deeply into what the feeling is within that conversation, and it can get quite nuanced when we settle into that space and get more sensitive without making it about us and kind of meaning making into the mind, because that's what happens with the mind, to just sort of sit with the experience of it, and how that's a really interesting place to live in terms of relationships, because then we can trust more intuitively in that kind of recognition energetically, and we can sort of sense where there's congruence and where there's incongruence. And that happens all the time, doesn't it, in terms of our own words and actions, how they don't always align. We might say we mean something, but actually it doesn't really feel like that within us. So yeah, it got me thinking about the fact that, we separate subjects out like science, art, poetry, whatever, and actually it's all the same thing. There's almost a poetry to physics. It's like it's all pointing back to the same space, and that space is that nameless, untouchable, pristine space that we are before all concepts, before all ideas of a me. So that's my little Friday existential moment. Have a lovely day. Take care.